Welcome to La Vida Rosa. I'm your host Pinky, and today I'm going to be telling my own Nappily Ever After story inspired by the movie Nappily Ever After. But before we get into the video, I would like for everyone to check out my website, La Vida Rosa Style. It has a bunch of cute accessories like the earrings I'm wearing right now. I would love it if you guys would check out the link down below. Also, while you're down there, like, comment, and subscribe. I decided to do this video because I really could relate to the movie in a lot of ways, so I decided to tell my own Nappily Ever After story. I want to kind of like go down the timeline of the movie, but actually give how I could relate to each part. So the movie opened up with Violet as a young girl, and she's like at the pool and she's looking around and she sees all the white kids her age being able to freely run around the pool, jump in the pool, get their hair wet. And you know, she couldn't do that because obviously her hair had previously been straightened. And I can relate to that a lot because I went to a private school and I was surrounded by white kids, and you know, their hair was totally different from mine. And it's like, with me, I couldn't just like freely run out into the rain or, you know, get my hair wet or let people play in my hair, because I would get in trouble. Like, my grandmother would be mad that she just spent all this time on my hair, and then I would come home and my hair would be messed up. So while all the rest of the kids like running around, you know, playing with water balloons, water guns and stuff like that, I couldn't really freely participate in things like that because I had to worry about my hair. And yeah, I did have a perm, so it's like, it's not like my hair would have puffed up into like an afro, but it still wouldn't look the same as if, you know, a white girl were to get her hair wet. Like, if her hair, she could just put her hair up in a bun and it'll be all right. But for me, it, you know, my hair just didn't work like that. I could totally understand her just wanting to jump in that pool anyway, because she's a kid, and you know, sometimes you just want to do carefree things. You don't want to just worry about your hair. When you're a kid and you have to worry about your hair, it just kind of makes it the center of your world. And I can understand why she's so focused on her hair now, because her mom placed such a big emphasis on it. I was raised by my grandmother and my mom. My grandmother did want your hair to look good, but more so she just wanted your overall appearance to look nice. And so I did feel like that pressure to look my best all the time, even though I didn't, you know, I didn't always put my best foot forward. They grew up in that time that you did have to present yourself at your best all the time. You did have to wear, your hair did have to be straight, and it did have to look a certain way in order for you to like get a job, or for a man to look at you and want to marry you. It really was, that really was like the standard back then. And you know, in many ways it's still the standard now, but I feel like that's changing. Growing up, I never thought about being natural. I never planned to be natural. That's not even something that really crossed my mind. Like, I didn't even really realize natural was a thing. I think I looked at like people in Africa as that's their type of hair, but I just never thought of how my hair would look without a perm. And you know, when people first go natural, they don't really know what to do with their hair. And so you will hear a lot of black women judging, like, oh, they don't need to go natural, they don't need to do that, it ain't for everybody. And honestly, I hate that phrase, that natural hair ain't for everybody now. But back then, I can't even lie, I was judging too. I was like, ugh, their hair looks a mess, I'll never do that. I said it out my mouth plenty of times, I would never go natural. That's because I was so conditioned to that standard of beauty of straight hair and getting a perm, even though I hated perms. In 2011, I had a really bad experience with a perm. After that one, I was just like, I'm not ever getting a perm again. I'm just gonna keep my hair straightened. I didn't plan on wearing it, you know, in its natural form. I just planned on straightening my hair. I did that for a while, but I lived in the deep south, and so the humidity, it's like, it's almost impossible for me to keep my hair straight in that humidity, and I sweat. It's just, it wasn't a good thing. Like, my hair will always puff up at the roots. So I was like, maybe I can get this natural hair thing a try. And so once I did, I kind of like fell in love with it. And eventually I was just washing my hair one day and I just saw the straight ends, and I was just like, I'm just gonna cut all of this off. I just cut it. Like, I didn't even second guess it. I took out my scissors and saw the straight ends and just cut it all off. And I just felt so free. Me cutting my hair, it wasn't as dramatic as the scene was in the movie at all, but it was kind of like that same feeling of, whew, I can breathe. Like, I'm tired of dealing with this permed hair. It's like it was holding me back, and I just felt so free with my fro. And I wore my hair in a fro for the longest time because I felt like that symbolized the fact that I finally am natural. Like, I feel like I'm completely natural now, and you know, let me just rock my fro. I did this without discussing it with my grandmother, and my grandmother was completely, like, she was mad. She kind of like always told me I should never cut my hair because, you know, that's a part of your beauty. For the longest time I just would hold on to that, but when I cut my hair and I saw that for myself, I still was beautiful to me. Like, that's all that mattered. And you know, she was mad at me, and she kind of like went off on me, and I was just like not caring. Like, before I would have been like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna grow it back, but at this point I was just like, I'm happy, like I like it. So, you know, I know you're upset. I'm sorry that you're upset, but I love it. She got over it, and you know what, she's natural now. I pulled her over to my side, so no hard feelings. As y'all can see, I'm blind. When I dyed my hair blonde, it wasn't like this huge thing. It's something I was scared to do because I thought it would mess my natural hair up, and it actually didn't. I have plenty of videos on how I care for my blonde natural hair if you want to check it out. It's not like I was trying to get back at anybody, or, you know, there was nothing more to it other than I just wanted to be a blonde, and I love it, and I probably will never go back to my natural color because I love it so much. Now, you would think my bald moment would be my big chop like hers was in the movie, and it just wasn't. It was like a couple of days before my 23rd birthday, and I just woke up, and I had always wore my hair in a mohawk style, like, you know, similar to the one I'm wearing today. Still one of my favorite styles. And I decided that I wanted to shave. I wanted to shave both sides off. And this time I told my grandma before, and of course she begged me not to do it. She did not want me to do it, but I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm just giving you a heads up this time so you know, you're not caught off guard. And I parted my hair myself, and I had my friends help me like keep the part straight. And I went to the bathroom, got in the mirror, took the scissors, and literally cut it off myself. I just was like, whoa, I can't believe I actually did that. Even with my natural hair, I always felt confined to a traditional style. I always felt like I had to do my hair a certain way. And even when I talked to certain guys, they were like, oh yeah, you need to keep that style. I only like that style, that presentable thing. And I was just like, what is presentable? What is traditional? Maybe I was being a little rebellious now that I look back, but I just wanted a different look. I wanted to bust out of the mold of looking like a perfect look, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just wanted something a little bit edgier, maybe. I just wanted something new and fresh. And so, you know, I cut my hair. I don't think it was as deep as Violet's moment, but it was like significant for me. And another thing, it took confidence to rock a hairstyle like that. It just does, because you're gonna get stares, you're gonna get people looking at you like you crazy, and you're gonna get people somewhat judging you based off that cut. But just having the confidence to rock it anyway, and to rock it the way I want to rock it. Like, I can rock a hairstyle like that and still wear the clothes I've always worn. I like to wear like old school vintage wear, and I will rock it with those same clothes, and I feel like it made my looks look so much more interesting. I was talking to somebody at the time, and he just, you know, he loved it. He met me with it, and he loved my hair like that, so I guess that was like the cherry on top. I loved that hairstyle while I had it, and I also loved all the confidence that came with rocking it. And so the next step is new growth. So once I was done with that hairstyle, I was ready to grow my hair back, and I decided to just go ahead and even it all the way around and leave some hair on the top and just, you know, kind of like have a shortcut. That took a whole nother journey to like love my hair at a shorter length. My hair had never been that short in my life. You know, it was kind of like the same thing with the mohawk. I just had to rock it, and I did. And as my hair started to grow back, it's like that hair growth was symbolic of me growing as a person. I cut my hair at 23. I'm 26 now, and I feel like I've grown so much since then. I feel like I'm a totally different person. I also love the little girl Zoe in the movie. And while she was very like rambunctious, it's kind of like she just needed that guidance. She already had plenty of confidence. But, you know, I love how her dad would always tell her every day she's beautiful. And, you know, encouraged her to wear her natural hair. Even when Violet's mom came over and was like, your hair looks interesting. And she was like, I hope by interesting you mean dope, because I know I look good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was so here for her having all that confidence, you know, with her hair. Because me as a little kid, I was very insecure. I want to see all the little girls coming up now being strong, secure, confident little girls. And also Will, the hairdresser from the movie, said something interesting that, you know, a lot of times black women will say, well, if I go natural, it's gonna be too unmanageable. And I feel like that's just not true. The same way you learned how to deal with your permed hair, you can do the same thing with natural hair. It just takes a little time, and it takes finding a routine. And once you find that routine and you stick to it, it's really not that difficult. You know, try different products, find what works with your hair. I mean, it is a little time consuming, but it's not unmanageable. And finally, I really like how the movie ended. Like, in the beginning and middle of the movie, she was chasing after this idea of her needing this ring, needing to be married, needing this and that. Her whole image was based around finding a man, and it's like she wasn't even happy with herself. She just really wanted to please this guy, and it wasn't even working. She ended up getting the guy and realizing that he wasn't even for her. He said he wanted to see the real her, but he didn't even accept her for who she really was. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm glad she didn't even end up with Will, because it just shows that she was perfectly content with just loving herself and not depending on needing a man. What I got from that last scene is that, you know, it is what it is. Whatever happens might happen with Will, but it doesn't have to. Like, she's just completely content with where she is, and I feel like that's where I am right now. I'm just completely content with where I am. I know God's gonna send me a husband eventually, so I'm just not like focused on that. I'm focused on, you know, getting myself together and loving me, and, you know, loving who God is making me into, so that I can love someone else. That was my Nappily ever after story, and kind of like a review, I guess. I would love to hear what you guys think down below. Did you watch the movie? Did you enjoy the movie? And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.